Hello everyone, I am Dr. Munish Kumar Bharadwaj from School of Engineering and Technology of IGNOU. So today I will discuss a next new topic, that is compaction of concrete. In our previous lecture, I discussed with you the transportation of concrete and placing of concrete. So in this series, next step is the compaction of concrete. So let us see first what is compaction of concrete. The process of consolidating concrete mix after placing it in position is called as compaction of concrete. Means we have placed the concrete, then we will be consolidating this concrete which we have placed, and this process of consolidation is called the compaction of concrete. What is the objective of it? The object of compaction is to remove air from the concrete and to give maximum density to the concrete. So these are the two purposes: removal of air and achieving the maximum density of the concrete. The presence of more air voids will reduce the strength. That you know, this we discussed in our previous lectures. It also ensures an intimate contact between the concrete and the surfaces of reinforcing steel and other embedded parts of the structure. During the process of compaction, it is important to note that the reinforcement should not be disturbed and the form should not be damaged or displaced. This I discussed in the previous lecture, that there is a purpose of providing the reinforcement in tensile zone and also in compression zone, and its placement is very important. If its place is disturbed, then whole purpose is defeated. So we have to be very careful that the reinforcement and the shape of the form should not be disturbed. If the compaction is not uniform, the concrete becomes porous, non-homogeneous and attains less strength, because porous concrete means having air voids, and we discussed at length that porous concrete is weak, it is not having good strength. The mix to be used should have adequate workability for placing without any difficulty and in order to obtain the maximum density, because the ease of placing and compaction depends upon the workability of the mix. The mix should also not be too wet, as it would otherwise cause segregation, lower the density and excessive latence at the top. So these defects will be there if our mix is very wet or too wet. So it should not be there. Now let us see the importance of compaction. A considerable amount of air is entrapped in concrete along with the partial segregation of aggregates during the manufacture of concrete. It lowers the quality of concrete by making it porous and non-homogeneous, because if entrapped air is there, then it will decrease the quality of concrete, it will make it porous and non-homogeneous, and because of that it will be having less strength. The importance of compacting operation is to remove the entrapped air and arrange the ingredients uniformly to obtain better quality of concrete. So this is the importance of compaction. The strength of concrete may reduce by 30% by the presence of only 5% of voids. So it is essential to remove these air voids. The density, durability and strength of concrete are the factors which affect the quality of compaction. Because if good compaction is there, then you will get dense concrete which is durable and having good strength. If compaction is not proper, then density of concrete will be less, it will not be durable, and also the strength of the concrete will be less. Then let us see what are different compaction methods. It is very important to decide whether to use a workable mix with hand or a stiffer mix with vibration before considering the method of compaction. It has been determined that a better surface with less blowholes is obtained for workable concrete. Means if concrete is workable, then you can get a good surface, better surface after compaction. So let us see, first method of compaction is hand compaction. Hand compaction method is adopted for pavements, narrow and deep members of the structures. Compaction must be uniform and concrete must reach to the corners of the formwork. So this should be ensured that concrete reach to the every corner, every part of the formwork. Excessive compaction is not good because it will try to push the aggregates at the bottom, thus bringing the mortar at the surface. That way, if you are doing the excessive compaction, then ultimately what will happen that most of the aggregates will go to the bottom and mortar will come at the surface. So a form of segregation is there. Whereas the aggregate has to be uniformly distributed in the whole concrete mass. What are the methods or what are the equipments that we use in hand compaction? Iron rods and rammers are used for the hand compaction. Mass concrete is compacted in successive layers of thickness not exceeding 30 centimeters by tamping with light rammers or templates. So you can use rammers or templates for mass concrete. Iron rods are used for compacting reinforced concrete work in layers not exceeding 15 centimeters in thickness. Hand compaction may be further classified as: first is rodding. Rodding is adopted in case of unimportant concrete work of small magnitude. When rodding is used, the consistency of concrete is maintained at a higher level. The thickness of the layer is limited to about 15 to 20 centimeters. Rodding is nothing but poking the concrete with about 2 meter long 16 mm diameter rod to pack the concrete between the reinforcement and sharp corners and edges of the formwork. Rodding is done continuously over the complete area to effectively pack the concrete and drive away the entrapped air. Instead of iron rod, bamboos or cane may also be used for rodding purpose. Second method in hand compaction is ramming. Ramming should be done with care as it may disturb the position of reinforcement or the formwork may fail if steel rammer is used. So we have to be very careful. Light ramming can be permitted in unreinforced foundation concrete or in ground floor construction. It should not be permitted in case of reinforced concrete or in the upper floor construction where concrete is placed in the formwork supported on struts. Then next option is tamping and hand compaction. Tamping is one of the usual methods adopted in compacting roof or floor slab or road pavements where the thickness of concrete is comparatively less and the surface to be finished is smooth and level. Tamping consists of beating the top surface by wooden crossbeam of section about 10 by 10 centimeter. So it's a wooden crossbeam of this section 10 by 10 centimeter. It is used for tamping. Now after the discussion on hand compaction, let us move to the mechanical compaction. In case of mechanical compaction, concrete is compacted by vibration during which the vibrator communicates rapid vibrations to the particles, thus increasing the mobility of concrete. Means it vibrates the particles and mobility of concrete increases. The particles occupy a more stable position under the force of gravity. While vibrating, the particles goes down due to gravity. The concrete mix fills all the spaces, thus forcing air to the surface and making concrete denser. So that way these mechanical compactors work. The frequency and duration of vibration, its amplitude depends on the conditions of vibration for compacting the mix. The maximum frequency of vibration depends on the size of the particles and on the mobility of the concrete. Let us see what are the advantages of vibratory compaction. By this method, a better finish and better quality of concrete is obtained as compared to hand compaction. The concrete produced is more dense and impermeable. The bond between steel and concrete is improved, and also latency is partially reduced. So these are the advantages. Also, the speed of placing concrete is increased by the ready flow of vibrated concrete into difficult positions. Because due to vibration, concrete easily goes into the difficult positions. Creep and shrinkage are also reduced due to the possibility of higher aggregate cement ratio. Concrete with even lower water cement ratio and with lower cement can be compacted effectively. Better compaction can be achieved in heavily reinforced concrete members if we are adopting the vibrators. Let us see what are the difficulties which are encountered in vibratory compaction. Because everything is not good, here there are some problems also. What are these? Finishing of horizontal surface. That it is difficult to get a proper finish in the horizontal surface. Discharging very stiff concrete from mixtures. The lack of sufficient vibration at points not immediately in contact with the vibrating equipment, thus resulting in segregation. Because the concrete which is very near or in contact with the vibrator, their compaction will be good, but in the parts which are little away from that vibrator equipment, then the compaction is not that much effective, and there may be a possibility of segregation. discharging stiff concrete from lorries and other means of transport. So these are some of the difficulties encountered in vibratory concrete. So let us see different type of methods in mechanical compaction. First is compaction by pressure and jolting. This is one of the effective methods of compacting very dry concrete. This method is used for compacting hollow blocks, cavity blocks and solid concrete blocks. The stiff concrete is vibrated, pressed and also given jolts, and due to this the stiff concrete gets compacted to dense form to give good strength. By applying great pressure, a concrete of very low water cement ratio could be compacted to yield very high strength. Generally, this method is used in the laboratory. Now let us see another method, compaction by spinning. Spinning is one of the recent methods of compaction of concrete and is used for fabrication of concrete pipes. It is used for fabrication of concrete pipes. The plastic concrete, when spun at a very high speed, gets well compacted by centrifugal forces. So here the centrifugal forces plays a role in compaction of concrete. Now let us see what are different type of vibrators that we can use for compaction of concrete. These vibrators are internal vibrator, screed vibrator, foam vibrator, table vibrator and another one is platform vibrator. Let us first see internal vibrator. Internal vibrator is also known as needle or immersion or poker vibrator. It consists of a power unit and a long flexible tube at the end of which fitted a vibrating head. A vibrating head is fitted at the end of the long flexible tube. These vibrators have higher efficiency since all the energy is directly transmitted to the concrete. So that way they have the higher efficiency. As they are portable, therefore can be readily used in difficult positions. You can take them to any position, any place. The vibrating element is immersed in the fresh concrete, means that needle is immersed in the fresh concrete, which transmits vibrations through the vibrator body. It imparts the vibration to the concrete. It is very important to keep the vibrating head in the concrete while running in order to keep the bearings cool and avoid breakdowns. So this care has to be taken. It should be inserted vertically or nearly so at points 45 cm to 75 cm apart and should be withdrawn slowly at the rate of 7.5 cm per second. So we have to be careful when we are withdrawing it from the concrete. These should not be used for pushing concrete laterally in the formworks because it will cause segregation. The frequency of vibration is about 7000 cycles per minute. Such vibrators are used for compacting large sections of mass concrete in structures, for concreting in beams, columns, foundations, etc. Now let us see screed vibrator. Screed vibrator is also known as surface vibrator. These vibrators are used for compacting plain concrete or one-way reinforced concrete floors, road surfaces, the thickness of which does not exceed 20 cm. This vibrator is set up on the concrete surface after placing the concrete, and vibrations are transmitted to the concrete through a working platform. Another type of vibrator is foam vibrator. Foam vibrators are also known as external vibrator. It is fastened to the formwork by a clamping device and transmits vibrations to the concrete. External vibrator is clamped at a distance up to 25 cm in depth from the formwork. The vibrator must be firmly clamped to the form, as otherwise its efficiency will be reduced. The formwork should be sufficiently strong and rigid to resist the oscillatory action. The time of vibration is from 45 to 90 seconds. The vibrator is switched off for 5 minutes after its continuous working for half an hour, and in order to allow cooling of motor. Otherwise, there will be failure or burning of the motor. If the motor of the vibrator heats up more rapidly, the work should be immediately stopped. The electrician should be called in order to check the motor winding, because if it is frequently heating up, so there may be a problem in the winding of the motor. In this case, more power is required in comparison to internal vibrators. Therefore, emergency vibrators must be kept near the concreting work as replacement for vibrators which go out of order. Because here the more energy is required, so there may be chances of the failure of the equipment. So some additional equipment should be there at the site. Foam vibrators are used in concreting of thin components of monolithic structures, heavily reinforced arches, tunnels and tunnel linings. They are also used in the production of different precast reinforced concrete components. Now, next type of vibrator is table vibrator. This method is mostly adopted in the laboratories. This is the special case of a formwork vibrator where the vibrator is clamped to the table. There the vibrator is clamped to the formwork. Here in table vibrator, the vibrator is clamped to the table. This method is used in making small but precise prefabricated reinforced cement concrete members. In this method, any member kept on the table gets vibrated. Another vibrator that we see here is platform vibrator. Platform vibrator is nothing but a table vibrator but larger in size. Sometimes the platform vibrator is also coupled with jerking or shock giving arrangements so that a thorough compaction is given to the concrete. Platform vibrator is used in the manufacture of large prefabricated concrete elements such as railway sleepers, prefabricated roofing elements, electric poles. So in such type of prefabricated concrete elements, this is used. Let us see handling of vibrators. Needle vibrators should be penetrated in vertical direction and vibrations should be transmitted till the concrete flattens and no entrapped air appears on the surface. So it is to be done till we get a flat surface, means that concrete that is poured there or placed there, it gets a flat surface, and also no air is coming out from the surface. Till that time we have to vibrate. The vibrator should be taken out of the concrete slowly and carefully. Skilled workmen are essentially required for producing a uniform and well compacted concrete. So while handling these vibrators, the skilled workmanship is required. The correct placing and tamping of concrete mainly depends on the skill of the workman and their experience. Vibration by unskilled person is probably more dangerous than hand tamping, as there is always a risk of either under compaction or over compaction of the concrete. So this is the risk if unskilled person is using the vibrators for compaction of concrete. The equipment to be used for vibration must be kept clean and free from coating of set concrete. Thus, vibrators should be used very carefully in order to compact the concrete layer uniformly. So, let us see what steps we should follow in order to obtain good results by compacting concrete with vibrators. What are these steps? Vibrators should be controlled carefully by immersing the internal vibrator for 5 to 15 seconds at points 45 to 75 centimeter apart. Means this much of lateral distance should be there in the points of immersion of the internal vibrator. The formwork should be as tight as possible in order to prevent any leakage of mortar or cement paste. The vibrator should be inserted vertically, otherwise it will not be possible to regulate the degree of compaction in all positions of concrete. The lift should not be less than 15 centimeter in order to avoid air being trapped. The vibrator should be immersed through the full depth of the freshly laid concrete. It should also be immersed into the lower layer if the concrete in that layer is still plastic. So means we are doing now the compaction in the second layer. So if we feel that the concrete in the lower layer is still plastic, so we can immerse the vibrator into the lower layer also. The vibrator should be withdrawn very slowly and should be allowed to penetrate of its own accord. The vibrator should not touch the foam surface, otherwise a sand streak is likely to occur. The surface of the formwork can also be damaged in that case if vibrator is touching the foam surface. The vibrator should only be used for compaction purposes. It should not be used for pushing the concrete laterally in the formwork. Means in horizontal direction you should not push the concrete in the formwork. Otherwise what will happen? It may cause segregation. Let us see the suitability of mix for compaction with vibrator. What type of mix is suitable for compaction with vibrator? The consistency of concrete depends upon the placing conditions, type of mix, and efficiency of the vibrator. The slump should not exceed 5 cm when compacting concrete with vibrators. If the slump of the concrete mix is more, the segregation will take place. Segregation should be prevented under all circumstances. Let us see how we select vibrators for various situations. Means which vibrator may be used for what type of structures or in which conditions a vibrator may be used. So let us see first internal vibrator. Internal vibrators may be used for large sections of mass concrete in structures, for concreting in foundations, columns, beams, etc. Then screed vibrator may be used for plain concrete or one-way reinforced concrete floors and road surfaces. Then formwork vibrator or the form vibrator for concreting thin components of monolithic structures, arches, tunnel linings, etc. Also for production of precast reinforced concrete components. So this way we can select different type of vibrators for different conditions of concrete. So we discuss in this lecture what is compaction of concrete, what are different methods of compaction, and what are different equipments and devices available for the compaction, and what is their suitability, how we select different type of equipments for compaction. So that way we discuss all these things in this lecture. So thank you for watching.